Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having a Sagittarius Sun and Virgo Moon in a natal chart. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on this. What I'm talking about is having that Sun-Moon combination in a natal chart, having a Sagittarius Sun and Virgo Moon in your natal chart. Now, first off, the basic character, which is the Sun, and in this case, the Sun being in Sagittarius, can be expansive, optimistic, exuberant, jovial, enthusiastic, blunt, and even self-righteous. Now, on the unconscious side is the Sun, and the unconscious side is the Moon. And with the Moon, being in Virgo, that side, conscious side, may be more scrupulous, analytical, detail-oriented, very, you could say, organized, tactful, analytical, and clean. And the way this combination may manifest could be, the person may bring that Sagittarius optimism into something Virgo related, which can include, something, with statistics, analytics, defragging, such as a computer compartmentalizing, um, and it can be, or something with cleaning, sanitation, or health. And the thing is, the Sun astrology reflects our basic wants. And the Sagittarius Sun wants to explore, expand horizons, be that perpetual learner. And the Moon represents our emotional needs. So the Virgo Moon, needs, work, more so than most people. Render service, just being busy in general. And the Sun in astrology is the true self. It's the basic fundamental character. And, the true self, the Sun being in Sagittarius can be enthusiastic, jocular, humorous, and philosophical. Now, the inner self, which is the Moon, and in this case, the Moon being in Virgo, can be systematic, punctilious with details, and even pedantic and verbose. The thing is, too, the Sun in astrology, reflects our driving motivation. And with the Sun in Sagittarius, the person may be driven and motivated, which is the Sun, to expand horizons, to express benevolence toward others, which is Sagittarius. But with the Virgo Moon, it could be feeling, more like, it's about how we feel, feeling like really being, attentive to details, meticulous with details. It can be, or it could be something, health related, or it's just, or something with employment. This is also, keep in mind, this could be more adverse if it's a square aspect. Now, the signs are square by sign, but it could be more adverse if, if it is a square aspect. The square aspect in astrology is 90 degrees. And I use a 10-degree orb if at least one personal planet is involved. In this case, of course, you have two personal planets that are involved. Now, let's say, for example, if the Sagittarius Sun is at 23 degrees and the Virgo Moon is at 18 degrees, that would form a square aspect. And you'd have, a lot of that, that blunt Sagittarius energy blending in maybe with that, the critical, judgmental side of the Moon in Virgo. And it's really, and the thing too is, and you also have, the conflict in general with this, whether they're square, especially if it's square. But the thing is, but when you look at these signs, the Sagittarius Sun, wants to get to the point, and they speak the veritable truth, and say things in very often very few words, can be very blunt and cutting with what they say, and even sometimes tactless to the point of demoralizing someone. The Virgo Moon is more, has that need to use more words, sometimes being pedantic, can be very verbose, and it might go on a little before getting to the point, and Virgo is more about tact. They're similar to Libra with the tact and diplomacy, and they're more scrupulous with the words they may choose. So you do have a strong contrast, with this energy. And what I want to state too is that the sun in astrology, okay, that's associated with the biological father. So with the Sagittarius moon, the biological father may actually be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those characteristics. And the moon in astrology represents the mother. So with the Virgo moon, the person may have a mother that's actually a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those traits. And it's also about the perception of these people. So with the Sagittarius sun, the person may perceive the biological father as somebody that's very exuberant, upbeat, optimistic, jocular, jovial, but at the same time they see the biological father as someone that's overly self-righteous, foolhardy, reckless, tactless, and blunt. Now with the Virgo moon, the person may perceive their mother as somebody that's very scrupulous, punctual, systematic, methodical, organized, and clean, but at the same time may perceive the mother as somebody that might be overly verbose, pedantic, judgmental, critical, cynical, and worrisome. So, but the thing about it is, keep in mind, okay, the sun in astrology represents, our actions. The moon in astrology is about our responses and reactions. Now, the Sagittarius sun, the person may act, with a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm, and there's, the actions can be philanthropic. They might be connected, with benevolence and toward others. And you have, the Virgo moon. The moon being in an earth sign, the reactions may be a little bit more prudent and cautious, and might be after analyzing something for some time. So you do have, and it's a very strong contrast in this energy. In the moon, being connected with the emotions of this person, is upset or angry, they may just lash out. It's a lot of critical, derogatory remarks towards somebody. And the thing about this too is, when you look at this as well, and going back to, if this is in square aspect with each other, if the Sagittarius sun and the Virgo moon is making a square aspect, well, I would say that can increase the propensity of the separation or divorce with the biological father and mother. But a lot of this too, is predicated and dependent on the synastry that exists between, the individual charts of these people with each other. And another thing too is that, keep in mind, okay, in this case you have the sun and the moon, both immutable signs, so that could indicate a person that's very immutable, very adaptable, and pliable, and easygoing, and willing to make a lot of compromises in their relationships. But keep in mind, it's also important to look at contraindicators and modifying influences in one's chart. Somebody with a fixed ascendant like Taurus may come across as more fixed and set in his or her ways than the typical person that has the Sagittarius Sun Virgo Moon combination. Or if the person, let's say, has a preponderance of major astrological influences in fixed signs, and that can modify things greatly, as well, as far as this sun-moon combination goes. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.